Michael LaPointe. He's a photographer, an actor, an educator, and a puppeteer. He laughs at jokes that most would shake their heads at, and he has lived in a handful of states and has an impressive range of odd jobs, but these days he spends his time slinging pizza and hanging out with his pup. He's a happy guy who is full of love and good intentions. It's the Mike LaPointe Show.
All right. Hey. Wow, there's a lot more people in the back than I thought I'd see when I got up here. All right. My story is not unlike Castaway in that there's a package that I carry. A little bit of a spoiler alert here. You know Castaway, when it ends, you don't know what's in the package? I'm going to tell you right now. At the end of my story, I don't know. I don't know what I delivered. I don't know what I carried. But it's who I carried it to that matters. I moved here from Brooklyn, New York, and I gotta take a deep breath here. I moved here from Brooklyn. I lived in this neighborhood called Greenpont. I couldn't move back into Greenpont if I wanted to. It's way too expensive and super cool. But when I lived there, it was all Polish people. A Polish restaurant below me, and the neighborhood next door was all Hasidic Jews, and a couple streets down, Italians everywhere. Great people. Great cannolis. So I lived in this apartment with these three great girls, and every time we'd have a problem, like the upstairs apartment got bed bugs, and now suddenly like I got bumped and I'm itching, and we called our landlord, called the landlord's son or cousin. His name's Baccio. We called Baccio, and we're like, Baccio, we got a problem. And he's like, do we have a problem or do you have a problem? And I'm like, whoa. Okay, I have a problem. Look, we have bed bugs. Can you help us out? And he was like, I can help you out, but you know, your rent's pretty cheap right now. And if I take care of that, then I'm going to have to charge you a little more. We're like, okay, we'll take care of it. 3 times. So I collected rent from these 3 lovely ladies I lived with, and I would go bring the rent check down to Baccio at the Italian bakery, probably like 8 blocks away. We didn't write the check to Baccio, we wrote the check to Mario Fortunato. Mario Fortunato was an old man who was in prison, and he was in prison for having someone killed. I told my brother who my landlord was, and he was like, "Do you write a check to that guy? That guy's in jail, it was in the New York Post," you know? So I'd, put the checks in my pocket and bike on down, and I'd go into the Italian bakery, and I'd go up to the counter, and some lady would be like, "How can I help you?" I'd be like, "Hey, is Baccio here?" Be like, "Ah, sure." This guy would come out, "Hey, how can I help you?" And I'd be like, "Nah, you're not Baccio." And he's like, "Oh, you mean my cousin Baccio." So then Baccio would come out and be like, "How can I help you?" And I'd be like, "Dude, I've been paying you rent for 3 years. Here it is again." "Oh, sorry, man. Do you need a cappuccino?" "Yes." So things are great in this apartment, and we're hanging out, and I get this package one day. It's in this little cardboard FedEx, like express mail sort of thing, and it's addressed to Mario Fortunato. I don't know how many apartments these guys have. I know they got the bakery. I know that this guy's in prison. I know that there's 2 Baccios. And I listened to it, and I like tilted on one side, and something like doga doga doga. I'm like, I tilted on doga 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 doga. I'm like, do I open it? Do I open it and maybe get killed? Is it like poison or a bomb or a human hand? I don't know. It sits for days. I'm like sniffing it too, like, okay. And eventually I'm like, I gotta get rid of this thing, you know? First of the month comes up, I throw my rent in my pocket, I throw the box in the backpack, and I bike down to the bakery, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Hey, is Baccio here?" This guy comes out, and I'm like, "You're not Baccio." And so the other Baccio comes out, and he was like, "How can I help you?" I'm like, "Dude, it's me again, every month. Here's the rent, and by the way, I've got this package. It's addressed to Mario." And he says, "That's Mario over in the corner." And like straight out of a Sopranos or something, I turn around and there's like this little sunroom, and in the back corner there's like 8 dudes with their shirts half unbuttoned and gold chain and gray hair. It's like slicked back, and they're all like kind of shoulders under, they're all talking to each other. I'm like, okay, that's Mario. And I walk on over, and I'm standing there, and I'm like way too hip. My pants are rolled up, and I got a hat on. This guy stands up, he's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for Mario." And he goes, "What business do you have with Mario?" I'm like, "I've been his tenant for 4 years, and I keep paying him rent. It's a great place, and I got this box addressed to him." And the guy says, "This is Mario right here." And in the corner, this tiny guy, this really like, his body was caving in on itself. And he kind of gives me a wave, and I say, "Oh, sir, thank you so much. The apartment's great," you know. And he kind of doesn't say anything. He just nods. And I like give the package to the one guy, who hands the package to the other guy. And that's it. Turn around, I start walking out. And the guy's like, hey, you want a cannoli? Linda, get this kid a cannoli. Hey, Linda, get this kid a cannoli. Come on, kid, get a cannoli. So I get my cannoli and my cappuccino, and I walk out back to my bike. And this is the weirdest part is, I'm sitting there and I'm unlocking my bike, and I look down the sidewalk, and out comes Mario, I guess, with the package, and he opens a black sedan, and he hands it into the back seat of the sedan, and they close the door. I'm like, what the hell did I just do? What am I part of? Oh, man. And I go home and I tell my brother, and my brother has been living in New York for like 15 years, and he's like, "Oh my God, what did you get yourself involved in? You're going to have pocket packages showing up at your house. He's going to be calling you, hey, can you deliver this over to this guy?" Like, no. So in the end, I don't know what it was, and I have a lot of things I like to imagine it was, and I hope that all of you can think of something scandalous, But that and a couple other reasons is why I ended up leaving New York and finding a home here for me in Montana. Thanks.